Getting the smile and confidence you've been dreaming about, all from the comfort of your home, isn't a total mystery with Byte clear aligners. Just don't be surprised if all your friends start asking, "What's your secret?" Begin by ordering your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95. Byte clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces, plus they offer flexible financing, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Hey, Prime members. Have you heard? You can listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free? Good news. With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free podcast. That's amazon.com/ad-free podcast to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Welcome to Text Me Back, the only podcast with two hosts who have the same number of organs in their bodies as each other. I'm Lindy West. And I'm Meagan Hatcher-Mays. And we're both here recording this episode today for you, with all of our insides fully intact and nothing removed. So yeah, let's get to it. Wait, sorry, what? I'm getting word that we're going to have to retire our classic tagline, Text Me Back, the only podcast with two hosts who have the same exact same number of organs as each other, because, as a matter of fact, we don't. Meagan is not here because Meagan, on the day that we were supposed to record last week, had a little something called appendix explosion. Meagan's appendix said, "Bye, girl, I gotta go." And Meagan's doctor said, "I can fix her by taking that blasted open appendix out." And then Meagan's appendix said goodbye. And then Meagan said, "Switching my body back into anesthetized mode." So yeah, Meagan was in the hospital. And now she's out of the hospital, but she was in the hospital. So we can't record a full episode this week. However, because we fucked up last week and we recorded our very special ad early, we had to hold that segment for this week, which is conveniently an I Can Fix Her. And that's, I think, very appropriate for this week when Meagan was fixed at the hospital. And now Meagan's appendix, she gone. It was the day we were supposed to record. And I was watching TV, and so we do this a lot. I texted and I was like, "Can we record half an hour later? Because I'm watching TV." And she said, "Yeah." And then half an hour later, she texted and she said, "Can we record tomorrow? Because I think I have to go to the hospital." And I said, "Yeah." She said, "I just threw up and my stomach hurts." And I was like, "Okay." And then she went to the hospital and she didn't come out of the hospital for like 3 more days. So I just want you all to enjoy this mini episode. I'm glad that we have something for you. It could have just been an empty, sad, tumbleweed, howling chasm in your podcast app this week. But instead, there's, I'm going to say, me rambling for 7 minutes. And then we got, I think, like 20 to 25 minutes of I Can Fix Her. And then I'm going to come back on and I'm going to do more of this. So don't miss the closeout. That's what I'll say. And yeah, we fixed a lot of stuff this week. We fixed a lot of stuff. We fixed ourselves. We fixed our digestive tracts. I'm really sorry that this episode is short, but I hope you'll like it anyway. I Can Fix Her is always a fun segment. And I'm really glad Meagan's okay, even though part of her body exploded. So anyway, now I'm not going to force her to record a podcast in her convalescence. So here we are. So please enjoy all the many ways we've fixed ourselves this week.
shall we move on
Yeah, let's
to
do it.
I Can Fix Her, the segment where we purchase little items that fix our lives. And I'm very excited about this first item that we will be talking about. It's a little tiny beveragino called Magic Mind. It's a little green drink. I'm really excited about it because the good people at Magic Mind sent us some to try. And honestly, it was good. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And they are sponsoring today's episode. Thanks, Magic Mind.
Thanks, Magic Mind.
They reached out to us both actually, and they sent us a few shots of Magic Mind to try
Yeah.
to get our brainestronies really firing on all cylinders.
They said, look, we've been listening to the podcast.
We are
You need
worried.
help.
We have some concerns about your mind. You never know what you're going to get flavor-wise with some of these tinctures, but this I thought tasted really good. It's got mushroom nootropics in it and vitamin C, so it's got a little citrus flavor to it, and you can drink them in the morning with your caffeine, although
Yeah.
you're off caffeine these days.
I am, although actually I had some today because I'm powerless before a little
Big
treat,
coffee.
a little creamy treat in the morning. But I gotta say, not only did I like the flavor of the Magic Mind, I think that it did some magic on my mind.
I honestly think that it did. Yeah. We got a little package. I had one every day for a few days, and I really feel like it made a difference. I had it with
Yeah.
my coffee in the mornings, and it was kind of nice. It was
It
really
was
nice,
nice.
actually.
And I definitely, absolutely, 100% felt more awake, more focused,
Yes.
less depressed, less stressed out. I don't know. I mean, I guess magic is real. And then when I ran out of Magic Mind, I was like, oh, guess I have to just go back to regular mind.
There's no longer a wizard cooking in my mind, and it
And
was very sad.
I loved it. So Magic Mind, don't ever change. If your mind is gunky, Magic Mind is worth a try.
Exciting news. Limited time offer. You can get a little discount on Magic Mind. You can test it on your minds. If your mind is feeling a little unmagical, you can improve your mind with this magic by going to magicmind.com/textmeback. You use the code textmeback at checkout. You get 20% off. Some Magic Mind. And I recommend it. It tastes good and it works, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
It's time released. It lowers your stress. It's validated by doctors. I loved it.
Go ahead and get you some Magic Mind. Again, you can use our code text me back 20% off at magicmind.com/textmeback. And so that was one product that fixed us both. Lindy, do you have any additional products that have fixed your life this week?
No. Bye.
Only Magic Mind. Only Magic Mind.
No,
End of segment.
no, I have a product that I'm considering
Okay.
that I suspect would fix me.
Mhm.
Although I'm not, I also know that it won't
Yes.
and that I shouldn't buy it. But let me just tell you about it.
Let me have it.
So I was on Instagram.
That's how you know it's going to be good. So the story starts with,
Picture this. I'm on Instagram.
Sicily, 1921. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm on Instagram. I'm doing my scrolls. And then I get served this video. The video is called Why You Should Use a Butterbell.
Mhm.
And it was from this account called Food 52, which is sort of
yeah.
like look, no offense to Food 52, but it's obviously they're trying to like recreate the magic of the old Bon Appetit test kitchen.
Mhm.
But they rely heavily on clickbait, which
Yeah.
so I actually am obsessed with this account because there's like a team of citizen journalists who everything that they post, Food 52 will post a thing that's like, do not put this ingredient in your pesto. And then it won't tell you. You have to click through to link in bio, which is like go to the link tree and you have to find. And so
you
then
need
there's
to find the thing. It takes forever. I hate clicking on a link
Yeah.
on Instagram, unless it's a link on the Text Me Back pod account.
Right.
I think
Yes,
we can
of
all
course.
agree.
Then I think for sure click away. But so there's a team of citizen journalists on every post where just someone at the top will be like, it's pistachios. And to me, like, there's no greater comedy than someone ruining the clickbait. It makes me laugh every time.
I know.
It'll be like, you're not gonna believe the secret ingredient of this chocolate cake. It's mayonnaise.
So one extra egg.
Yeah. So I have like I wouldn't say a love-hate because I don't hate it. I love this account. It brings me joy. Some of the stuff's not clickbait. Like they'll do like a little informational video that's like this one that I'm about to tell you about. So it's like why you should use a butter bell and what that is. And I was aware of the butter bell. I knew that there was a weird way to store your butter where you keep the butter sort of suspended upside down in a David Blaine-esque torture compartment. Magneto
Above
cube,
Times Square. Yeah.
one might say.
Yeah.
But I didn't really I had always been like, that's too many moving parts to my butter.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
You have to put it in water?
Yeah, so then this video is like, well, actually, you do need. I'd always been like, I don't need that because here's what we do at my house, and this is how I was raised. You keep butter out on the counter.
Correct.
I do have a dish that has a cow on it, and it's butter shaped. It's very cute, so I use that because you gotta have room temperature butter, and as long as you're eating a lot of butter, like this guy, it doesn't go rancid. It's all fine. It's great. So, and I feel very European. Like, you know how the Europeans are like,
the Europeans,
they're like, we keep our eggs on the roof.
I was just going to say, they don't do the same stuff to their eggs. So it's like, you can just leave them out all the time.
Yeah.
But you can't wash them because the outside of the shell might have something on it. So if you wash it, it could permeate. Anyway, the Europeans got a lot of egg rules I find fascinating.
They leave the chicken vagina residue on the egg.
Wow, what a way to say it. By the way, the term is cloaca.
So anyway, so I'm like, okay, but I'll hear this lady out about the butter bell. So I watched the video, and the way the butter bell works is essentially there's a little dish. Mm-hmm. It's like a kind of a size and shape of a ramekin, and you put, and then it has a lid, and inside, and if you were to turn the lid over, it's shaped sort of like a little, I don't know. God, how am I going to describe a butter bell? It has
like a bell? Is it shaped like
it
a
has
bell?
like a central cylinder, and then it has a little lip around the edge. And basically you fill the cylinder with butter, and it holds a stick of butter, and then you turn it upside down and it fits down into the other part, and then the little lip like holds it, in place.
Yeah.
And then, so what you do is you pour a little bit of water into the bottom part of the dish. And then when you invert the butter in the little cylinder into it, it creates a seal. Mm. So the water is sealed against the butter. And then it apparently keeps the room temperature butter fresh for much longer. So
I see.
I don't have a problem with my butter going bad. So
it's not a problem I'm facing.
It's not a problem I'm facing. However, the butter bell that's being advertised by Food 52 is like a handmade ceramic item.
She's cute. She's really cute.
She's cute. And the way that the lid fits so perfectly onto the bottom, and then it makes you put it on and it's like shunk. And I was like, oh no,
I must have her.
If I don't have her, I'll die. I'll be a dead corpse. So then I go and I look it up. Meagan, this butter bell costs $50,
ma'am, and
I don't even have that, first of all, right now. And it's, again, not a problem that I need a solution to.
And yet, it's in your cart.
It's so cute, the little item, and it just feels very like Christian Girl Autumn coded. Like
we didn't even talk about her.
I know.
She's back.
She's
back.
My
God, sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, but it's very much, it feels like, oh, I'm a pioneer woman. I store my butter in a farmy way. You know what I mean? Like an artisan.
I own some of the land from Killers of the Flower Moon.
Wait, I did not know that. And yet for years, I have hated this pioneer woman.
Yeah. I don't like her either. I used to think she used to bum me out because I was like, man, this show is like her whole family is off doing something fun. And
Yeah.
and she is never she's always like
She's
off somewhere else pioneering alone.
She's like she's making fiesta chicken.
Yeah. Or she's like, the one I saw, she was making like a campfire banana in a tinfoil thing.
Ugh.
And it was like, then she dropped them off where they were all having fun at the campfire and then leave again to go make something else. And I was like, listen, I know this is probably a lot of like coastal elite feminism that is projecting from me onto her, but it's like, you don't want to go to the campfire? Why do you have to make the bananas? There's no one else available to make the campfire bananas? And on top of that, you live on weird land?
My mom hates Ree Drummond. She thinks that she is sickly sweet, and she hates the way that she talks. She thinks she talks like a little baby. Okay, so now, but it's true. And then also one time I saw a tabloid that's called like Country News. And then she was on it, and the headline was something about how she's discriminated against for being Christian.
Yes. Are you going to buy the buttered bill? You don't know yet.
No,
You're holding firm.
No, I'm not going to, because it's a lot of work. So in the video where they're trying to sell me on the Butterbell, she's like, yeah, it's so easy. So you pull off the lid, and then you just have to take a paper towel and wipe off the top layer of the butter where it's wet. And also, don't get any crumbs in there because they will grow microbial poisons. And I was like, okay, well, my butter that just sits on a plate
is not giving me botulism.
And it's not giving me homework, you know?
Right. I think this is the opposite. If you bought it, it would be an opposite of I Can Fix Her.
I think so, too.
I gave her more problems.
Like after I got over the novelty of getting to take the lid off and put it back on a couple times, then hear the little then I would just be annoyed.
Okay, my I Can Fix Her, I thought this was funny because we both bought this item like on the exact same day without having discussed it. Let's discuss it first.
No, let's say how it actually happened.
Okay.
I can do the intro to yours, because here's how I found out about the item that fixed you. I get this post on my Instagram, and I was like, oh, there's that item that I wanted to buy last time, but it's sold out. They've restocked it. And so I freaking slammed that purchase button and I bought it. And then I was like, you know who would love this item? Megs. And I sent it over to you, and then you said,
I just bought it because I literally had just like checked out, and then you sent me the link and I was like, cosmic forces have arrived. I found out it was back in stock because I signed up for an email alert. I was like, when these come back, I want them to send me an email about it so I can buy them immediately. But what we're talking about is website, book / Instagram account called Vanishing Seattle, run by a former Garfield Bulldog by the name of Cynthia Brothers. And she sort of documents cool little things about Seattle that are from like the 90s, or 80s, the childhood, that there's a lot of places that couldn't keep up their lease, like funny little places that used to kind of make Seattle unique. And now everything is like a glass ball. I don't really know. But Vanishing Seattle made a series of enamel pins of some famous former Seattle landmarks, such as the Elephant Car Wash sign, the doghouse, which was actually not part of my culture, I wouldn't say, but it was like a sort of a dive bar on 7th and Bell. And then there is a Chubby and Tubby sign that says Xmas trees $5, and you are a real Seattle head if you ever got a Christmas tree from Chubby and Tubby, or your back to school Converse.
I was just going to say, as far as I knew, that was the only place you could get Converse.
I know. I didn't even realize like Converse was a real shoe. I just thought it was like something Chubby and Tubby sold till I was older. And then the fourth one is from the classic Lusty Lady, which was a strip club / peep show. Surely everyone listening to this knows what I'm talking about, but if you don't, it was on First Avenue in Seattle. It was literally directly across the street from the Seattle Art Museum. So it was truly a cultural touchstone. It's just the placement of it was so perfect. And then every week or so, they would, on the marquee, they would put up like a sex-based pun. And when they finally were driven out of town, their very last one was "Thanks for the memories," which was truly a beautiful and sad. It was very poignant.
Now,
I would say
I'm surprised that you like this, because you're famously,
I know.
You're sex negative and you're pun negative.
And I hate puns. I was thinking about this. So I got the pins. They arrived. And by the way, Cynthia, they're beautiful and I love them. I'm obsessed.
Yeah,
and people ask
same.
me about them, which is so satisfying because I can be like, I get to tell somebody about the elephant car wash sign. Destroyed by Bezos. I assume. I don't actually know what happened to it. Although I think it's at Mohi or something.
I'm sure it's at Mohi. But the real question is, what happened to the Collins Gold Exchange sign? Who has the Collins Gold Exchange sign?
If you are Collins, call this podcast immediately and tell us what happened to your sign. Which used to be on 23rd and Union, I think, where Uncle Ike's is, I guess.
Correct.
And it was just a man with an eye patch dripped in gold. And it said Collins at the top and then Gold Exchange on the bottom. And we used to buy it and go, Collins? Gold Exchange?
But it was like, it was a kind of a sign that you don't see anymore.
No.
Speaking of vanishing Seattle, because it had a photograph of Collins on it.
Yes. It was Collins, I believe, on the billboard. And nobody's doing it like that. It was very like of the time of Vern Fonk, where they were like local weirdos who were selling you little items. And you don't really get that as much.
No, I don't even know if anyone in Seattle is giving cash for gold anymore.
Where I don't have anyone to call. What if I want to exchange my gold? What do I do? So, but I love the Lusty Lady one. And Lusty Lady always used to crack me up. And every time I went to the art museum, we'd, of course, all have to go check and see what the marquee said and have a little sex-based chuckle. Sorry, the chuckle wasn't sex-based. The thing causing the chuckle was a sex-based joke. Anyways, and so then I was thinking that same thing. I was like, why do I like this so much? Because I do hate puns and I am sex negative. I'm opposed. And I think I figured it out. What it makes it so special is that it made everybody mad.
Yeah.
Lusty Lady pissed off everybody. And in a way that was it was giving tossing a Jamba Juice cup at an old Seattle dad. And there's something, and it went on for decades. Like Lusty Lady survived much longer than it probably ever should have. And people were mad about it from like, probably for longer, but as soon as they moved the art museum or like remodeled the art museum when we were kids and it was right across the street, people had been agitating against Lusty Lady for like the whole time. And Seattle can be very provincial on matters of sex and sex work. There was like a lot of stuff percolating when we were in high school about like, oh, you have to use neon lights and or like overhead fluorescence in strip clubs to make everybody look worse, and you couldn't touch the dancers anymore.
You're not allowed to. You can't serve alcohol at strip clubs.
Yeah, so it's like, so Seattle has this reputation of being very progressive, but there's like the teen dance ordinance is another example of this, which, by the way, our former overlords at KUW are doing a podcast about, which I have not had the chance to listen to, but I'm excited to.
Yeah.
About basically you were not allowed to, if you were under 18, you were not allowed to dance in a club. And it was only until like maybe in the last like 10 years or 15 years where they even allowed all ages shows that served alcohol in Seattle. Like it was very not progressive. And Lusty Lady was sort of like the last vestige of this like weird old Seattle where like things were a little bit dirty and gross. And I think when we were kids, you know, like Amazon didn't exist yet, but Microsoft did. And things were starting to change. And so there was something about Lusty Lady sort of represented it was sort of like a really just a grouchy teen who was pissing everybody off and not taking a bunch of guff. And there was something about that I really liked, even though it involved puns.
It's from the era when Seattle had character. And by the way, the Teen Dance Ordinance podcast is called, as you might have guessed, Let the Kids Dance! Exclamation point. Hosted by my old colleague from The Stranger, Mr. Jonathan Zwickel. So we'll put a link to that in the show notes. I was going to say, I thought that the reason that you tolerate the Lusty Lady, not that you more than tolerate, that you embrace the Lusty Lady.
Yeah, I love her.
Despite your twin hatreds, is because I think they famously unionized. They had a big labor.
I think they did.
Movement.
Yes, and that's true for a lot of clubs. Actually, that was happening while I was in law school. I remember because I was like, yeah, of course these dancers should be able to unionize. But a lot of dancers are classified as independent contractors and not employees of like the actual club.
Yeah.
So it's harder to unionize that way unless you have like a sort of like a guild or something. Like that's what they used to do. Like on the docks, you'd have to go hire somebody from the guild. And I think we should bring that back for dancers too. There should be like a dancers guild and the guy has to come to the docks and Empire unionized dancers that way. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I just looked up some of their famous marquees if people would like a
Please.
sampling. For St. Patrick's Day, Erin Go Braless.
Great.
Kiss Me Under the Camel Toe. Happy Nude Year.
Great.
Jiggle Bells. Jingle Balls. All clothing 100% off, which is funny.
That's funny.
They weren't all puns. Some of them were just like funny little whatevers. Yeah. But they are missed. They are greatly missed. I think they closed in 2010.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Labor leaders, heroes, and we miss them. And by the way, it was one of those friggin' things where they're like, sorry, we need this real estate for our downtown revitalization on West Edge. That's what they tried to rebrand that part of First Avenue. And then as far as I know, it's just still empty. It's just
it might still be empty.
So
it's like, sorry, we need this for our Amazon eyeball scanning factory. So unfortunately, no dancing for you. So that's why I love it. And I love the pins. I am so delighted with them. And I think they did fix my life. You know?
I've noticed that you seem better. Yeah. You seem a lot different.
I'm mentally healthy. My mind is magical. It is what it is. Yeah.
Yep. We're doing great. I'm doing great.
And that's the last time we'll ever do this segment because we're fixed.
Bingo. Well, appendix, it's time for you to go. You gotta go. You know, Megan's doctor took one look at that appendix and said, she's not serving you, you know? She's holding you back. You can do better. She's gotta go. And I think that's the right decision. And I think it marks a new era for Text Me Back, for this podcast, for this nation, for this world as we know it. And also a new era of triumph for me in the friendship war, because I still got all mine and Megan's down one. So I guess that's Lindy 1 appendix, Megan 0 appendix. So big day for me as well. And a big day for you because you got this behind the scenes info, and we're going to do a segment about it next week. Don't even worry. You're going to get all the scoop about about Megan's exploding appendix. And that's going to be really fun. In the meantime, if you had your appendix explode, you can call us on the best friend party phone, which is pod tax. Oof, the O's are zeros. Now, Megan's the one who has the phone number memorized. I only have the mnemonic memorized because I need a mnemonic to remember a series of numbers. So you're going to have to do a little bit of sleuthing if you want to figure out what the numbers are that correspond to pod tax. Oof, the O's are zeros. But please let us know if you've had an appendectomy, an emergency appendix removal, or anything else that you want to talk about, anything that's fixed you this week. How are your minds doing? We would love it if you would subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/textmebackpod. You can email us at deartextmeback@gmail.com. Okay. Or you can call us at podtax. Oof. The O's are zeros. And don't forget about our virtual phone banking, October 7th. Details in the old show notes. So again, apologies for this mini-sode. We hope you like it anyway. Megan says hi from her sick bed. And Kevin's taking great care of her. Marge and Eleanor are not helping at all. We'll be back next week in a jiffy with a big, meaty, beefy, thick, long episode. Oh, Megan's not here. I can do whatever I want. Girthy. Oh, I didn't even want to do that. I just did it. I got mad with power. I was drunk with power. Text me accolades. We love you. Thanks for your understanding. Send Megan your well wishes and get well soon messages at deartextmeback@gmail.com or the best friend party phone pod tax. Oof, the O's are zeros. And we'll talk to you next week. We love ya. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Text Me Back. If you like the show, please tell your best friend about us. Be sure to rate and review us. It helps people find the show. And most importantly, please support our Patreon so we can keep making this. It's patreon.com/textmebackpod. Text Me Back is a production of Meagan and Lindy, proud members of the BFF Network. Our senior producer is Megan Hatcher-Mays. Our other senior producer is me. Our show is supported by Co-Pilot Collective and produced by Allie Slice. Our digital strategist is Chance Nichols.
Diana Bowen is our video and creative wizard. Our production team includes Lindy West, Megan Hatcher-Mays, our loves, our anxieties, and our fears.
Our music is by Chief Ahamefule J. Oluo.
Special thanks to our perfect angels, Jeannie Yandel, Brandy Fullwood, and Isolde Raftery.
I'm Lindy West.
And I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays. See you next week. Mwah!